At the end of the 19th century, a new artistic movement emerged in Europe that influenced almost every art form. This was Art Nouveau, which revolutionized architecture, furniture design, graphic arts, ceramics, and of course, jewelry making. Art Nouveau emerged in opposition to the academic art of the late 19th century. Its goal was to break away from the rigid rules of classical styles and create a new, modern visual language. The name varied from country to country. In France, it was Art Nouveau, in Austria and Germany, Jugendstil in England, Modern Style in Italy, Liberty Style, while in Hungary it became known as Secesio. The basic principle of the style was free-form creation inspired by nature, as well as blurring the boundaries between applied and fine arts. Organic lines, asymmetrical arrangements, and the stylized depiction of nature's motifs, such as plants, animals, and female figures, became especially characteristic of jewelry. By the end of the 19th century, the time had come for renewal in jewelry making as well. The Industrial Revolution led to the spread of mass production, which allowed the middle class to access decorative objects and jewelry. However, mass production standardized taste, and many people developed a desire for unique artistic pieces. Art Nouveau was born as a response to this social and cultural change. Jewelry once again became a means of artistic expression. The goal was no longer just to express wealth or status, but aesthetic and formal innovation. The main formal characteristic of Art Nouveau jewelry is the flowing curved lines, which often evoke continuous, uninterrupted movement. Inspiration from nature played a central role. Floral motifs, such as irises, lilies, daffodils, or poppies, were common. In addition, butterflies, dragonflies, birds, and other insects were often depicted, frequently in stylized, dreamlike forms. The female figure, especially with long hair and flowing clothing, was also a recurring motif. This theme was often combined with elements of nature, for example, a female face appearing with flowers, or hair intertwined with vines. The jewelry often emphasized the artistic quality of the composition, rather than the value of the gemstone or material. For such jewelry, visual balance and richness of detail were much more important than the size or price of the gemstones. The aim of Art Nouveau jewelers was not to display ostentatious luxury, but to provide a kind of artistic experience for the wearer. This approach allowed them to use materials that were not considered valuable in previous eras, such as glass, horn, or even enamel. But through their artistic processing, they created an extremely spectacular effect. Art Nouveau was therefore not just a style but also a way of thinking, which interpreted jewelry not as an ornament, but as a kind of portable work of art. This philosophy is also reflected in the fact that many pieces had an almost sculptural effect, with a complex spatial structure and a carefully designed harmonious color scheme. Art Nouveau jewelers broke with the classic materials of traditional jewelry art. Diamonds took a back seat, and gemstones such as opal, turquoise, amethyst, as well as shell, mother of pearl, coral, and ivory came to the fore. Enamel played a particularly important role. Various techniques such as cloisonne, champlève, and plique-à-jour were used to create translucent or shiny surfaces. This enameling allowed artists to achieve a painting-like effect. Not only gold and platinum served as the base material for the jewelry, but silver was also often used for a darker shade and contrasting appearance. The jewelry was usually handmade and often made to order. This contributed to the uniqueness and irreproducibility of the pieces. For the masters of the era, the choice of materials was not just a technical matter, but part of the artistic expression. The use of translucent or iridescent surfaces, such as the glow of opals or the playful colors of mother of pearl, helped to evoke the variability and delicacy of nature. Enameling techniques, especially plique-à-jour, which created an almost glass-like effect, allowed the motifs appearing in the jewelry to truly come to life. This type of decoration was particularly well suited to themes such as the translucent wings of dragonflies or the petals of a flower in sunlight. These technical and aesthetic innovations together contributed to the creation of Art Nouveau jewelry in a freer, more creative and visually expressive form than ever before. The most famous figure of Art Nouveau jewellery art was undoubtedly René Lalique, a French jeweller and glass artist. Lalique combined the themes of nature and female beauty in his jewellery, while introducing new materials and techniques. In his works, it was not the gemstones that dominated, but the overall effect. In a well-composed piece, the form, the colour, the translucency, and the sense of movement all came into play together. Lalique's name marks the golden age of Art Nouveau tiaras, brooches, hairpins, and necklaces. His special enamelling procedures and nature-inspired forms make his pieces still considered an artistic peak. In 1900 at the Paris World's Fair, Lalique's jewellery achieved worldwide success and significantly contributed to the international acceptance of Art Nouveau. Besides Lalique, several other artists contributed to the development of Art Nouveau jewellery art. Georges Fouquet worked closely with graphic artist Alphonse Mucha, who created spectacular symbolic designs for Fouquet's jewellery. Lucien Gaillard combined the influence of Japanese art with Art Nouveau forms, and was particularly known for his pieces depicting butterflies and dragonflies. Henri Weber made jewellery in his Paris salon, which was specifically aimed at art collectors, and his figure-based mythological-themed ornaments became particularly famous. Art Nouveau did not start from a single centre, but developed in parallel in several European countries. Besides France, in Austria, the Wiener Werkstatt emphasized geometric stylization and craftsmanship, while in Germany, Jugendstil jewelers incorporated symbolic and mystical elements into their designs. In Great Britain, designers influenced by the arts and crafts movement focused on hand craftsmanship and natural materials, creating simpler but equally expressive pieces. In Hungary, Art Nouveau mainly developed in architecture and furniture art. Just think of the works of Odon Lechner. But similar aspirations can also be found in jewellery, especially within the framework of applied art schools. This regional diversity highlights how the Art Nouveau philosophy was interpreted through different cultural lenses, making the style incredibly rich and varied across Europe. After the First World War, Art Nouveau gradually faded into the background and gave way to the Art Deco style, which emphasized straight lines, geometric shapes, and modern elegance. Nevertheless, the legacy of Art Nouveau jewellery lives on to this day. The jewellery of the era is still sought after by collectors, in museums and at auctions alike. The forms characteristic of the period also influenced jewellery design in the mid and late 20th century. Art Nouveau jewellery reflects the artistic thinking of the time. The organic forms, the special use of materials, and the attraction to nature and female beauty give them a special place in the history of jewellery. The representatives of the style, including René Lalique, Georges Fouquet, and Lucien Gaillard, raised jewellery making to an artistic level that still influences the industry today. If you are interested in the great eras of jewellery history, stay with me, because in the next episode I will guide you into the world of Art Deco, where symmetry and modern elegance take centre stage. If you liked the video, don't forget to like it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next jewellery history journey.